and welcome to Olsem Wanem. I'm Deborah Prentice. Roads are a vital link to goods and services. Many people in rural areas continue to struggle in reaching goods and services due to the lack of proper roads. In this segment, we feature the stories of the people of Managalas Plateau in Oro Province who suffer from poor road conditions. "41 years of independence in Papua New Guinea, yet people in rural areas continue to struggle as a result of the lack in service delivery by their mandated political leaders. The people of Managalas Plateau in the Afora LLG of Ijivitari district in Oro Province continue to struggle in terms of roads to travel into the capital, Popondetta, to sell their garden produce. Managalas Plateau, with its volcanic soil, is agriculturally rich and produces the best vegetables. However, transportation to Popondetta market is said to say impossible for the locals.
The Managalas people, we have been long denied of the rightful service that we should receive, especially the road itself. Road and big heavy. I just want to say that, people of Managalas, when they come, they pay for the vehicle to take them home, but in this case, they pay and they push the vehicle all the way to where they are. So that's still, it's becoming a big problem for us. And we need to see that, such things, must be put to rest so that Managalas people receive services from the government that is rightfully the government of the day, delivering service so it reaches the people of Managalas people.
Plus a kisim hard time lo kisim all market something go lo market because of the load condition good pla.
Side the road lo access dol Managalas, yes, mi plagat road. But at the moment mi plagat two pla, one pla NPM as place straight. And David already remember Bloijivitari. So the time I'm son up, the first year I'm son up, yes, the road was okay. But now, after another 5 years, and road and bagara porketa. So excess dumplalo side, especially mipla all mama, lo kisimol market dumplalo goran lo town. It's very, very hard. You can look him. Lo here over Karingo lo afforestation now. That's the district station here. Karingo lap now they can sleep 1 or 2 nights, and by the time we'll sleep 1 or 2 nights now, you think in product roll and bagara penis. And then all the Karingo town, all you go at Sarim maybe first dinner, over something and still or rota away or what. And then all no come to money law, Karim buy some what needs loan na come back. And then they have to pay for the PMVs to go up and down.
The poor road condition is the main factor hampering agricultural activities for the people to help sustain their lives. For women to brave the weight of their garden produce on their heads and backs, climbing mountains and crossing rivers, and sometimes being assaulted, yet what can they do? They have placed their trust in their representative to Parliament, hoping that their struggles and burdens will be eased.
Or sometimes people are carrying a product lumplago or mansai. Or some bagara people road or steel or raping people or all this like kind. Because no got dupla road exists. Suppose car start lo doorway na go out to ketalum town alright. But mi plus sakari na go out. That's one thing. So road access dupla lo side lo marketing services in dupla Thomas.
After the break, we talk about health services for the Managalas people. Welcome back. Health services for many years has been a priority area for the government of the day. However,
This is not so for many communities in Papua New Guinea. The struggle of accessibility of health services remains an evident struggle for the people of Managalas Plateau in Oro Province.
Poor health services is common in most rural areas. Maternal and infant mortality continue to rise in rural areas of Papua New Guinea. Like most rural communities, the people of Managalas Plateau in Oro Province live without the luxury of having access to health services.
All mama inside the plateau, and mipla all mama stop inside all remote area where service in Osakam, where health blow mama and me too hard through lo riximol mama, time blow Kerema, time blow Kukai and me hard through lo side blow wara, sample community or stop close to lo wara, mipla sample stop long way lo. Wara where he had lo mipla or mama kissing wara na washing baby na kukai na drink same time.
Though they have a health facility at Itokama, health services are not being delivered to the people. The downfall to this is that the health workers are locals, and their priorities tend to shift from providing health services to attending to their gardens.
Health service, yes, you get all last place yet, all plenty, and only CHW, only workman blow, but most of the time, all no staff blow, all work area blow, health post or health centers, they go out to the town. Also, no side the health service, plenty money side die, like seem sick, not too, some of the time, we don't got car like ambulance or health service car, delivery mall, or refer patients to town. So because I rely on PMV, sometimes PMV, good platumas, can sometimes break down the road. So lo side the health service too, good pla.
All work line blow house sa committee molet lo have because all local line, all tinim lo guardian blow na, all tinim lo work guardian blow to now sa go up now na sa full time lo health service. And all last place all health workers or same so ona sa tin sa no sa committee all yet lo work money blow but also tinim lo garden work to same time so sample time go out lo garden work. Sample time all go out lo town no disa kai no sa kam haria posem lo to kamaya now medical all 1 month now mipla yet lo zone 5 mipla no got health worker so what mipla have to do mipla walk about lo 30 kilometers lo place na go come up lo health center location service
Plenty all bel mama blow mipla or like delivery. Ambulance staff ta sole no sagim service because all line lo town uli kisim bekens la ambulance to mipla lo so triple centers health centers ito kama sakarina na afore o sem so lo side lo health mi kento ko sem lo side all mama mi pesa pani very hard.
Imagine a pregnant woman walking for hours to reach a health facility, bearing the weight of the unborn child, or a sick person traveling in search of health services, risking all odds in the name of accessing health services only to die midway.
all sick line sample time all Kerema lo go na dai sa come up lo rot na sa kisimol kambet because all health workers na lo health workers lo mipla tu lo house mipla go come up all banana pari up lo come down na saving mipla na mipla come o se mipla go long way so ina pro come down na saving mipla na mipla by come e mono sa make mo se.
According to local women we've spoke to, antenatal checks is not something women in the area know of. This has resulted in most or all women facing complications when it comes to giving birth.
Mipla all mama inside lo plateau side blow hair blow mipla o sem planti mama ino go lo school na oni no sabe lo local team all yet so planti time all mama time blow Kerema all painim heavy where communities are trying best blow lo Kerema lo stretcher bed lo long way up go come up lo health center and about no got noga dolo wanem noga the ambulance to help him or transport him or so all community all trying best blow lo carry mo this our high risk mama outside time lo carry mo panim heavy emosa carry mo lo place na walk about or same 30 kilometers or same kind lo place na lo service with health service staff.
You're watching Olsem Wanem. One aspect that hinders efficient service delivery is the lack of data of the exact population in an area. Without this vital piece of information, service providers may not provide services to the full capacity that will benefit everyone in an area.
Service delivery in Papua New Guinea has for many years been based on estimated populations. The National Identity or NID project being rolled out in PNG is said to be the way forward to knowing the exact and accurate populations of communities. These were all emphasized by the Registrar General of the PNG Civil and Identity Office, Dixon Kiragi, during the recent official declaration of Lese Ward in East Kerema, Gulf Province as the ward registration area.
Our planning is based on estimates, not the total, entire, accurate number of the community. So it is very, very critical, very important for us as a country, as a province, as a district, Malalawa, as the LLG, East Kerema LLG, and as a ward, that we need to know the actual population of our community, not just by numbers, but we want to know them by face. We want to know them by name. We want to know what is your marital status. Are you married or not married? We want to know how many children are born in this community. We want to know whether these children have been catered for, whether they have been planned for in terms of education, in terms of health services, in terms of other services. So you can see the importance of why IOM came to me and said, no, please, we need to have that information about the population itself.
The civil and identity officers have been in East Kerema to get the people of Lese Ward registered for their NIDs and birth certificates. This has come about as a result of a partnership between the International Organization for Migration or IOM with the Civil and Identity Office. IOM has been working with internally displaced people or IDP from Lese who have moved due to the rise in sea level. However, they did not know the exact population of the people, which will not enable them to help them with projects or programs.
It's a program that is funded by DFAT through the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Papua New Guinea. The program focuses on documentation of people who are displaced in PNG. Papua New Guinea has got about 52 communities that have been displaced by various hazards, and including natural disasters like flooding. And Lese, here where we are today, is one of the communities that has been affected by sea level rise and the coastal flooding. So when we wanted to register these beneficiaries for us to provide services, we realized that they did not have national documents. So it actually hinders them from actually formalizing their stay in the location that they are, because they don't have any national document that they have on the ground. So this, after we have observed that, as an organization, we decided to engage the office so that they can actually formalize these people through provision of the national IDs so that they become nationals of Papua New Guinea.
What will happen is that from this work, we will generate three things. One, your birth certificate, one, your ID card, and one, a summary statistical information about the community, which we will give to IOM so that we will tell them this is the number of people by age, these are the number of people living with disability, these are the number of women who have given birth as a single mother. We will give those sort of specific information so that it helps them to help you plan.
IOM PNG Chief of Mission George Gigari reiterated that it is vital that IDPs have legal documentations, as this will greatly help them.
How very important documents are for people like you who had to move. Because you had to move, you were forced to migrate inland because of the salwara. You have now a new set of problems. And when you have a document, it makes your life easier to access services, to be registered, to receive help later, and also to be able to speak to other people and to communicate your problems. This initiative is part of a bigger program. That's why IOM is here, is to do community-based disaster risk reduction and development. So we want to help the village to make sure that you identify your main problems, you find projects how to resolve these problems, and we will help a little bit in the beginning with some funding and some support and our help to make sure that you move forward.
The idea of this program that we have in this location is, of all the 52 communities that were verified in the country, that has got 76,000 displaced population. We wish of all those displaced population could be documented, because this is actually assisting the profiling of the displaced population in the country, and also can assist for us to address needs of the displaced population by knowing what is their population dynamics, what are actually their status, and the gender distribution, so that all our targeted intervention can actually assist them according to their own situation. So this program actually will be rolled over to places like Manam. It will also go to the Cataract Island. We are also going to expand it to other areas like in Kokopo. We are also planning to take the program also to the highlands in areas like Morib, where we are actually going to expand the whole program. But the idea is about government partnership, so that government can provide these services to facilitate us to provide the services that are required.
Mr. Gigari also urged the people to take ownership, cooperate, and come up with solutions to their issues.
So our job is to help you, and what we will ask from you is to make sure that you work very hard to help yourselves, okay? Very soon, you will have the list of priority main projects for your community. Okay, we will help, but it is you who has to make sure they're done, okay? We can only help those who want to help themselves. But I've been around, I've driven around here, and from the people I spoke, everyone is ready to go. Everyone is ready to help. So I know together we will succeed, okay?
Welcome back to the program. Awareness is a vital aspect that will give people a fair bit of understanding as to what is happening. Without proper awareness, people may misinterpret and have misconceptions to what is happening around them.
Working with local communities in Papua New Guinea is sometimes tough. Determination and collaboration with the locals can drive a program forward when the people understand the program concept.
Initially, our program, we're targeting only 200 as a trial to see if it is doable for the whole country. But we've already superseded the target, and we are thinking that even we are going to exceed more than what we have targeted already. But the idea is to expand this program to make sure that all IDPs are targeted. And the great thing about the people of Lese, they came up in big numbers. They came up with their children, and everyone is actually registered, which is actually a great initiative for the country. And they've set an example for all our IDP communities in the country, because this is the first time that we are registering IDPs in the country.
However, one thing that lacked, according to locals, was awareness on what and how to go about getting registered under the NID project.
From my views, from what I have realized, there was not enough publicity for the NID to be conducted here. There must be better and wider awareness, wider publicity, in order to attract people to also be involved and participate. Right now, that was not been done very much so. You would see that although NID is one of the one of the biggest programs that the government is moving forward with, people are yet to really embrace it and work along it to get this thing moving.
All should come make awareness and all get a man should serve us me plava kisim NID because no other awareness blow all just come inside kisim name na all man all plenty man all work Latino sem 666 or sem na sample all ni no got interest lo come give name or sem na you look him all in a plenty line come.
Civil and identity officers who were on ground working with the people said they did some awareness to the people.
Since we arrived, we did send out some information to all the communities around Lese. Lese is the ward, but there's about 4 villages, the main villages that falls under Lese. And we visited the leaders in each of the communities and advised them of our presence here. However, the turnout was not that good, probably because awareness was not done prior to our coming in for the actual registration. So I think slowly it's picking up. We've seen a lot of people coming forward with forms. Despite the slow start, we're beginning to pick up now from the registrations are coming forward. Yeah. Awareness is one very important component of our activity. Prior to going into a registration site, we need to carry out awareness with especially with the gatekeepers or the community leaders of each communities prior to moving into there, so the people are well informed of our activity there and what are the purpose of our visit to those communities. So yeah, of course, awareness is one very important component of our activity.
Despite all this, it was proven a successful project as the first lot of Lese Ilava locals received their NIDs and birth certificates.
We printed 63 certificates. That's particularly from the first registration point, which is Lese Ilava. We did 63 registrations, and out of those 63, 13 have been issued with NID card as well because they are adults. Those that are above 18, they get the certificates together with their cards.
So this is Karisora's statement on his certificate of birth entry. This paper is using a security paper, so don't think you can pull this paper. Then, because he's over the age of 18, so we will now issue him with an ID card. Both the certificate and the ID use only one unique number. That's the ID registration number. So I am very thankful to my officers, and thank you for taking the opportunity to register here. And I think only 2 days later, I'm now issuing you your certificate, and I'm too happy to sign this off here in my capacity as the Registrar General of Papua New Guinea. We don't do this only in our office. We want to make the people realize the value of what you do. So there you are. I appeal to all of you. Don't wait for the government. Because the government, who's the government? You are the government. You appoint the government. You elect the government. We need to all work together. Community, as a community of people. IOM is here to help us facilitate, bring the technical expertise that we need. When they are here, make use of it. That is the opportunity time to determine what we need.
I want to thank the government of Papua New Guinea, especially the department that is responsible for the national registration, especially the Registrar General, for actually, in a short period of time, we had a meeting in the past 2 weeks. And that 2 weeks after we discussed, we have already exchanged letters and we have set up the structure, and within 2 weeks, we have got results of more than 300 people registered. To me, it's actually an example to other government departments when you talk about service provision to each citizen. Decision making should be done as quick as possible, set up a model that works and implement and we get results. And these are the results that we are getting today.
That's all the time we have for this week's episode. If you have any comments or stories you would like to share, please send us an email via the address showing on your screen or leave us a message on our Facebook page. From the Olsem Wanem team, I'll see you again next week.